BMI makes a statement about Kim Burrell, and here it is. BMI statement on Kim Burrell. BMI's Trailblazer Gospel Music is an annual celebration of gospel music and its many talented songwriters. Given the controversy surrounding this year's co-honoree, Kim Burrell, we must ask her not to take part in the ceremony in order to allow the focus to remain on the songwriters and on their music. Isn't gospel music supposed to reflect the gospel? Doesn't the gospel say that God is against homosexuality? Why then is it controversial for a gospel singer who sings the gospel, who preaches the gospel, to be under attack because she stands with the Bible? I want y'all to know that this is a very strong time. I want y'all to know that this is a time of warfare. I hear people all the time talking about that the battle is over and we don't have to fight and we don't have to fight and this year is warfare free. But let me tell you something. We're going deeper into the darkness. The deeper we go into the darkness, the more conflict that we're going to encounter, the more fight that we're going to have to battle. And listen, my body and my spirit is weary because we've been fighting spiritual warfare for this presidential election. It's been spiritual warfare. Unlike any other election, there has been a warfare in the spirit realm. And you know what? This is a sign that we are actually in the times of the mark of the beast. Now, you guys are waiting for the beast to come out of the air, and he's going to come out of the air with a Sharpie and start marking sixes on you. But that's not what the mark of the beast is. The mark of the beast is a system. It is a way. It is a system that is against Christ. It's a system that's against the word of God, and we're going to have to fight it. Now, I want to offer a challenge to our leaders out there. I want to offer a challenge to all of our church leaders to stand with Kim Burrell. Do I think Kim Burrell is a perfect person? Has she done some things that I feel like is not really good? Yeah, but she is standing for the gospel. She made a stand for God, and now the world and the Antichrist has made an attack against her. And the church is standing very weak. The church is not really standing strong with her, and I'm concerned about that. Now, this is the time not to fall back. I notice that every time the church is in a dilemma, every time that we are at a crossroads, every time that we are in a conflict, every time that we need our leaders to step forward, they are silent. None of them step forward. For their big conferences, we see commercials, we see videos, we see advertising, we see all these things that they have the money to do. But yet, when it comes down to making a stand for God against homosexuality, a hallmark of God's creation, a hallmark of God's word, we see nothing. And time after time, it's been crickets every time. Now, I want to challenge VaShawn Mitchell. I want to challenge Yolanda Adams. And I want to challenge Marvin Sapp to make a stand against the Antichrist right now. One of the signs that we see that we're dealing with the Antichrist is that it always cripples finances. The Antichrist cripples finances. It takes away money. Did you notice what happened in North Carolina? They lost $500 million in commerce because of a bathroom bill that they not want to allow transvestites in the bathroom with their children, their vulnerable children, and all hell broke loose against them. No pro sports teams would play there. No sponsors. All the sponsors of the city backed out. The government, Obama, and Secretary Lynch came against them. It was a spirit of Antichrist. They withheld finances and they crippled the place. Can y'all still hear me? I'm having some weakness. I'm showing weakness on my video. Just somebody, can you hear me? God bless you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. Can you hear me? Brian, can you hear me? I want to make sure everybody can hear me. All right. All right. Thank you. Did you notice what they did? Do you notice how the Antichrist is working? I want every Christian to know that we are in that time right now of the mark of the beast. We are in that time. No, it's not a physical mark yet. I believe it will be a physical mark. It may be a microchip. It may be something that planted in your brain. But isn't it ironic that the two places where the Bible said that the mark is going to be in the right hand or in the forehead has to do with commitment? The right hand is the hand of agreement that you agree with. You always put your right hand on the Bible. You shake hands. You cut a covenant with the right hand. But on the forehead, this represents marital commitment to that this thing, that this person is always on your mind, that you are mentally committed to him. The mark of the beast is already here, but it has not made a physical demand on the believers to receive the mark yet. But yet, psychologically, mentally, and financially, we have to agree with this spirit if we're going to have commerce. And I'm just trying to tell every believer that the time now has come that if you say anything against the mark of the beast and against this system, that you will be challenged financially. Now, see, I'm nobody. I'm nobody. I've already been attacked financially. I've already been attacked by the spirit of the Antichrist. I've already attacked. I've lost everything. I've been down to nothing. And I know what it is to be under attack because you make a stand for God. But Brother Marvin Sapp, I want to ask you, man, what's up? What you gonna do here, man? Are you gonna let the sister like this? You gonna kick her out of the award, and you still show up to the award and receive an award, knowing that they did your sister like that? Sister Yolanda Adams, what's up? Are you gonna let? Y'all been singing gospel for a long time together. She makes a stand for God and against homosexuality, and you all still show up for a place where they kick your sister out? Let me tell y'all something. I'm not from that. I'm from the old school. I'm from a country town. And when you fight one family member, you're going to have to fight the whole family member. You have to fight the whole clan. And this is why we look weak to the world, because we are so grafting for the money. We're so ready for the recognition, and we want our names and lights, and we want the money. But this is what it's all about, my friends. It's all about being able to love God more than you love money. And yes, you will suffer. This spirit of Antichrist will cripple you. You won't have money to buy or sell or eat and all that thing. They will strip you down to nothing because you love Jesus Christ. Well, Brother Jerone, I'm upset because, the way Kim said it, she was saying, and she was speaking out of love, and she was speaking out of hatred, and she wasn't speaking out of love. Let me ask you something. How much love do you need? How much love is it going to take for you to come out of homosexuality and lesbianism? God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. God loved you. And then Jesus himself loved you enough to die for you 2,000 years ago. And if that love isn't enough for you to receive him and to love him and to live for him, well, then there's nothing we can do for you. And let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something. I see my signal's weak. But those of you that are saying that we're speaking out of anger, and tonight I sound like I'm angry and I'm angry at the world and I'm not showing love, and because of people like me, that's why you're not in church. But let me tell you something. If you're not in church because of me, you're some kind of weak Christian, and you cannot handle being a Christian in this time. Believe it or not, Jesus' message wasn't well received. They killed him for his message. They killed the prophets for the message. They killed Moses for the message. They killed all the true believers. That this earth and this world system is not a Christian-friendly system. Tell your children, tell your church members, tell everybody that this is a violent system that's set against Christians. And while you're running around letting the world tell you how the Bible wants you to love, they are twisting you. They're binding you up to where you cannot say a word against any type of sin because they're binding you up with your own Bible. But let me tell y'all, it's going to take a certain amount of hate that this walk with Christ as a Christian is going to take a balance of love and hate. Jesus talked about it. I'm not preaching hate, but I'm trying to tell you how to be able to manage in this world and to be able to cast out devils. You can't cast out a devil if you're tolerating it, if you're living on it. There has to be hatred for unclean spirits in order to cast it out. If you don't believe me, check out Paul in the book of Acts chapter 13. Paul in the book of Acts chapter 13 had a woman that followed him with the spirit of Python. She had a spirit of divination, and she followed him everywhere for many days. And Paul tolerated it. And because he tolerated it, he could not and did not cast it out. But when he became grieved in his spirit, when he got upset at this spirit, although this spirit was telling the truth, but Paul knew that it was a demonic spirit. It was a spirit of Python. The spirit of Python is the same spirit that Paul, when he was gathering up sticks, and the spirit, the demon, the viper lashed onto his hand, Paul shook him off. But let me tell you something. I've cast these type of spirits out, and they always choke the victim as they come out. Let me tell you something. If you want to be delivered from homosexuality, you want to be delivered from any type of sin, lesbianism, you got to find a Christian who is hateful enough against unclean spirits to bind them up and to cast them out. All this loving stuff, you are not going to be able to cast out a demon. Jesus talked about walking in a perfect balance of love and hate. He said, if you're going to have two masters, no man can serve two masters. Either you're going to love one or you're going to hate the other. There's going to be a love-hate relationship. There's going to be enmity between the seed of Christ and the seed of the woman. And you're not going to be able to cast the devil out if you're being all sweet and nice. And isn't it ironic that the children of this world, they know how to come in agreement and to stand against something. I noticed how that for Donald Trump's inauguration, all the seed of Satan, the ones who have taken the Baphomet vow, the ones who have bowed to Satan and sold their soul, they will not receive any amount of money. It may be millions of dollars, but they will not receive it. They will not go, because they're all in agreement. Tonight, I'm telling you all, I'm asking you all to share this message. Those of you who have a connection with Marvin Sapp. Marvin, I need you to do something, man. I need you, and I need Sister Yolanda Adams, and I need Brother VaShawn Mitchell to make a stand. I say to you that you should not attend the BMI Awards. All of you gospel singers who are planning on attending this service and attending this award, you should not go because of the way they treated your sister. I'm here. See, the reason why the church is afraid to speak out now, they're afraid to speak out because of these type of vicious attacks. They're afraid to say something because they know that the church don't have their back. Believers should be standing up with Sister Kim Burrell. You should be making statements. You should be saying, hey, that I'm in agreement with her. I noticed Beyonce, when she was, before Clinton, when her and her husband was trying to announce Secretary Clinton as the next coming president, she said, I'm with her. Now, you may not believe that, and neither me, I don't think Kim is perfect, but I believe that Kim's message is on time. And I believe it's a timely message, and I believe that it's a biblical message, and I believe that every child of God should be standing with this message and against this spirit. Now, Joyce Myers, I want to hear from you. We want to hear from our church leaders, our big name leaders. We want to hear from you. We want you to stand with Sister Kim and the message of the Bible. But TJ, I don't think you're to start. You said you're not doing gay marriages yet. But listen, we need you to come out of the closet or whatever you're going to do and let us know what side you're on so we can know who's in this battle with us. We need to know who are we going to put our finances into, that we're going to put our faith into and put our prayers into, so we can go ahead and fight the spirit and stand against the spirit of Antichrist. Now, whether y'all know it or not, On February 2nd, or February 12th, 2013, while the church is waiting for a physical Antichrist to come out of the sky, I want y'all to know that on February 12th, 2013, and you can Google it, lightning fell on Vatican, its temple, when the prior pope retired out of time and handed over the papacy over to this current pope. I can't say our because we're not Catholic. This system does not worship Christ. Lightning struck the temple twice back to back. Lightning hit the temple twice back to back. And this, if you'll notice, as when you look at the Google on it, you'll notice that it wasn't a white lightning, but it was more of a purplish, bluish lightning. All the research that I've done and all the people that I've talked to who are in this satanic worship, of those who have smoked weed and entered into the spirit realm unlawfully, and they saw the devil, he wasn't red. He was purple. So when the Illuminati took Prince, made his song Purple Rain, and called it the Purple One, they were actually celebrating Satan. And it wasn't R-A-I-N, it was R-E-I-G-N. It was the satanic rain. It was the purple one who was raining. And Jesus said, "Don't Satan fall from the lightning." And the lightning, those lightnings that hit the temple in Rome was a sign to the world that Satan had come down already. Now the church, we're sitting back waiting to fight the Antichrist, and we're sitting back waiting to fight something that we see physically. But I'm here to tell you, according to John chapter 1, verse 1 John 2 and 18, that the spirit of the Antichrist is already here. And if you are a believer in this time right now, and you're not ready to love Jesus, and the Bible says that they love not their lives unto death. So I'm asking our leaders, Brother Bishop Neil Ellis, we need you to come forward, man. We need you to say something. Now I know that you went a few months ago over to Bishop Eddie Long's church, and you told his petitioners and the members of the congregation that it was their fault that Bishop Eddie Long is sick. You told them it was their fault, and we thought it was the transgenders and the boys that he was sleeping with. But God told him he's sick. We need you to come forward and say something on this Kim situation. We need you to say something. We need you to come out and say something. Now you've told the congregation at Eddie Long's church, even before all of this stuff came out a few years back. I remember you going on stage and asking the people to stand with him because you seem to have known that this message and this sin that Eddie Long was involved in was getting ready to hit the fan. Okay, so now we need you to come forward and stand with Sister Kim. Whoever's watching this, and you know Bishop Neil Ellis, send him this video and send him this challenge. We have a week from now to the BMI Awards. Asking all gospel singers, all leaders not to participate in this. We show them how our family is. We need to show them that we have a family too, and to hands from her and her platform anymore. Well, then it's going to happen to us. It's going to happen to us. You got to give it to the children of the world, the children of the darkness, the children of Satan are wiser than the children of light. Now I'm offering this challenge, so I'm issuing this challenge to Joyce Myers, T.D. Jakes, Neil Ellis, E. Dewey Smith. Now I notice how every now and then you open up the closet and you throw a stone and you go back in the closet. Now we need you to either come out of the closet and stand with Sister Kim or just come out of the closet. The church is at a crossroads, man. We need some direction from our leaders. I'm wondering, why is the church saying anything on this Pizzagate situation? Because all of this homosexuality and all of this transgender stuff is really trying to lay ground for the real big daddy, and that is pedophilia. And church is silent. You know why it's silent? Because they told y'all this hate speech. If you don't hate unclean spirits, you're not going to be able to cast it out. I was casting out a devil one time, and this devil kept telling me, he said he was old. He kept telling me he was old, and he said, oh, I'm old. And I wrestled with him. My mom was right there with me. We was in a prayer meeting. We was in a deliverance service with a deliverance service. And every time as Paul cast out that unclean spirit in that girl in the book of Acts chapter 13, it's the spirit of Python that chokes them out. And every time you start to drag these spirits out, it chokes them. And the first thing that come out is blood. And then they start spitting up this nasty, filthy stuff. If you don't hate these spirits, you're not going to cast them out. Notice how Jesus in his ministry, he wasn't telling the people, oh, I love your sickness, I love your addictions, I love alcoholism, I love your Christianity. He said, I'm coming with the Son of God. And as it is in heaven, so be in earth. He cast out devils and he told them to shut up and come out. So if we start keep peddling this love out of whack, that's all. If I was this thing, this drug addiction is really hard, and it's tough on family members. But I don't hate my family member. I hate the addiction, and we're not hating on homosexuals. We're hating on the sexuality, the sin. And I'm here to tell everybody that hell is real and it's long. And when a believer comes to you with a message trying to lead you to Christ, it's all about trying to lead you to Christ and to prevent you from going to hell. E. Dewey Smith, we need you to come on out. Clarence McClendon, say something. Noel Jones, come on. See, because I need to know who's walking with God and who's not. I want to know who's at battle with me here. You guys are making a lot of money on the church. You've been leading for a long time, but every issue that comes up, every time there's a major issue in a crossroads for the church, we can't hear nothing. Charles Blake, Bishop Charles Blake, come on, man. Come on. What's up? The church needs you guys. Joseph Walker, Bishop Martin, we need you. You can say a whole bunch of stuff at these conferences. You can say a whole lot of stuff in these meetings. It's a whole lot going on, a lot to be said. But as soon as there is a real issue, it's real out here in these streets. It's real out here. Now, either you are with us or you're with them. Either you're going to stand with the Bible or you're not. Now, we need something. We need some clarity here. Now, I want to challenge you, Brother Marvin Sapp, where you at? This is the time to stand up. We need you to do this. Tell BMI to take your award and go sit on it. That'll make them happy, won't it? Take the thing and go sit somewhere. I should rise up. What does I come to awards, but you did much like that? I'm not coming because you dissed her. This is gospel. The good news of God, the message of God. And the message of God is that he made them male and female. Male and female replenish the earth. Let me tell you something. The Antichrist is using 2, 3 of the things that God told us that we were blessed at. Number 1, he told us to eat the food of the trees that he had created. Then he told us to drink. He gave us a drink from the brooks. Water sprang up from the earth out of these 4 streams. These are our human compulsions that we desire to eat and we desire to drink. Our feasts, the biblical feasts, were to be times of eating and drinking and being merry and celebrating before God. Then he told Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply, which was sexual pleasure, and to have offspring. And Satan have taken all 3 of them, and Antichrist has all 3 of them, chapter 16, and he's getting rid of the church because the church is against perversion, and the church is against homosexuality, and the church. And you're going to try to starve the church out to where we can't eat, and we can't drink, and we can't minister, and our name is no good, and you're lying on us, and we can't get out, and you're breaking us down, and you're making us look bad. But Sister Kim, I'm with you. But she wasn't talking in love. It takes hate to cast out a devil. In the book of Revelation, he says to the church of Thyatira, he says, I'm against you because you have tolerated the spirit of Jezebel to teach my people to eat things that are sacrificed unto idols and to do fornication. Brother Marvin Sapp, I'm not going to hold on long. I'm just about out of here. But I want y'all to share this. I want somebody to reach Brother Marvin Sapp. I want every Christian. I'm challenging you to make a video and say, I'm with Kim. We have to show the world that we have a big family and that we do love our faith. We do love our Christian heritage. We do love our brothers and sisters. Jesus said, by this all men shall know that you are my disciples, by your love one for another. In about 6 days from now, the church could show the world how much we love each other by not attending this BMI Awards. Call in sick, I don't know, but don't go. Don't go. How much recognition do you need, bro? How much money is it going to take? Jesus said, behold, I come quickly and my reward is with me. Do you want Jesus' reward? Do you want a reward? Recognition from men. It's not going to last. Tell them to take it and go out. Tell them to step. It's real out here. The church needs the. We need our leaders to step up. Now, either you agree with homosexuality. If you agree with it, we'll go ahead and mark you as a false prophet. Now, I know this. All these you Facebook apostles and bishops and all that God's getting ready. God's getting ready. It's about to happen. It's coming and it's coming. It's getting ready and it's getting ready and it never happens. You all are clouds without water. You're promising a big rain. You're promising a big harvest of rain, but it never, ever rains. It thunders. It lightnings. It thunder. It lightning. The skies are filled with clouds, but it never produces any water. And every time I watch and I pay attention and I'm praying and I'm watching and I'm waiting to hear one of you prophets and pastors to stand for something that really means something. Oh yeah, man, all you want with manage with challenge and kiss a Negro challenge and throw your money at the hoes challenge and all types of stuff. But when it really matters, when it really comes down to a subject that matters, when the church really needs to know where to go right or whether to go left or whether to love or to hate, all of you don't do nothing. But you come in and you prophesy a car, a college scholarship, a husband, a wife, God's getting ready, God's getting ready. Shut up. You all don't say nothing when it's time to really stand up. We need you to stand up now. So, Brother Martin, there's my challenge. Whining brothers, or whatever you are, or whoever the gospel people are. See, I've really cut myself away from gospel now because homosexuality is just, you can see it. No real man will put up with it. No man, real man who is a manly man and not on the DL can put up with that sissy spirit. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love everybody. And if you came to me and you wanted deliverance and you came to me when I was pastoring my church, brothers and sisters who was in homosexuality, I kept everything discreet and we went through deliverance ministry with them. Some of them got deliverance and some of them didn't, because some of them really didn't want to be delivered. And all of you that are in deliverance ministry, let me give you a warning that'll save some of these people's lives. Don't take somebody through deliverance who really don't want to be delivered. Because 7 spirits worse are going to come back on them. Because they really don't want to commit Christ. Now, I don't know how much love it's going to take for y'all, but God so loved the world. Jesus loved us. He died. And that's enough love for you to get saved. And I know there's going to be thousands of comments about, and oh, Jerone, it's people like you. It's people like you is why I'm not in the church. You know what? You're weak and you ain't ready to walk this thing anyway, because you're now. You can't take a strong rebuking and a strong lesson and strong witness for Jesus Christ. Well, then you're not going to be able to take it when they say, hey, either bow down to this worship Satan or you and your children can't eat. Or we're going to have to behead you or kill you. I'm asking everybody, all of my brothers and sisters, to please reach out to fellow Christians and to ask them not to participate in this BMI Awards. Why? Because they cast our sister Kim Burrell, who is a sister in the faith. Do I agree with everything she said? No. Do I agree with everything she does? No way. But we need to fight against this BMI Awards. We need to show the world that we have a lot of family members. We have a lot of faith in this Christian faith, and we still have power. Now, let me say this to you real quick, and I'm just about out of here. That this is going to buy us some time against the Antichrist spirit. What I mean by that is that when this spirit is attacking the church and we don't feel like they do us, then they're going to back off. They're going to back off. But we have to make a stand. And for years, I've sat back and I've watched and waited for our leaders to come forward and to give the church some direction. When it came down to Prop 8, we was trying to decide whether the world was trying to decide whether the church agrees with same-sex marriage or not. And every leader in the black church was silent. It grieved my heart. It grieved my spirit that the church was so silent at such a time as this. And I want to say this to you, Paula White, Kenneth Copeland, and Jitson Franklin. All of you have recently been appointed as counselors, spiritual counselors to Donald Trump. I want you to come forward right now. I want you to say something right now. Don't think that just because you are in the White House and that you're in a big house, that this Antichrist